Hello, my biddies. How are you today? I'm good. Um, gonna do things a little differently today because I didn't do a reality segment yesterday. I'm gonna do two today. But they're gonna be split because I'm gonna go do half because I don't have one of them ready yet. So I'm gonna do half the show now, and then I'm gonna come back on the 6 o'clock. Sound good to everybody? Um, to do the other half of the show. So we'll do half the show now with a reality segment, and then half the show later with another reality segment. I don't have people in my house right now, so I can do what I want. Slept really good last night. Um, I hope my husband did. He's in a hotel, so and I forgot to give him a toothbrush. Said he texted. I'm like, I could have sworn I put two toothbrushes in that same thing. I guess I didn't. Um, so I told him, I said, go down to the front desk. They probably have an emergency toothbrush. He says, worst toothbrush ever. And like, I'm sorry. I feel bad. Um, then he said, but the mini toothpaste is adorable. So I guess he's not too bad. I think he's having a good time. He texted me yesterday that's a bunch of nerds running around. Like, what did you expect from the Nerd Fest? Um, they have activities. He's at a conference, so they have activities until midnight. And one of them apparently is some Second City and alumni are putting on a improv show, so that should be fun. Um, I'm sure it'll be well worth the $15 because we went to Second City when we were in Chicago a few years ago. It was excellent, and it wasn't even the main stage. It was like a $10 offshoot. Um, Very well worth it if you're in Chicago and you can go to Second City. It's well worth any money, but if you can't afford the main show, they have little offshoot theaters all over that they have secondary shows in, and some of them are as little as $10, or at least they were a few years ago, like 5 years ago. Um, Maybe it might be up to 15 now, I don't know. Inflation. They gotta pay people too. So so I guess we'll start with Reality Roundup, entitled Bailin' Out This is from Bailin' Out Loud, Season 3, Episode 5. Not on my bingo card, and knot is spelled Knot because they're getting married and they're tying the knot, I presume. That's what that's for. I don't know why it seems so dark on my screen today, but it's fine. I think you can see me. Can you see me? Do you want to see me? Probably not. So we begin back at the Haley Page studio. Balin is in an absolutely beautiful wedding dress. Everyone gasps when they see her. Julie says it matches the venue. It's elegant, stately, and it's her favorite dress so far. Uh, then she puts on a dress that's totally Balin. She says it looks like sherbet and cotton candy threw up in the best way possible, and she's not wrong about that. It's it's a very rainbowy dress, very frilly, um, lots of layers of different colors. It's a very nice dress, not a wedding dress. It's not wedding dress. It's not screaming wedding. Uh, she proposes that maybe the rehearsal dinner. That would be cute. Julie likes it, but says it's not for the wedding. Julie asks her, "Do you want it shorter?" And Balin says no. And Julie says, "Do you want all of it?" And Balin says, "I want the whole fucking thing." That's a quote. Then she tries on a super short sequin dress. I think it's a dress. It might be a romper. It was hard to tell. It was very short for a dress if it was a dress. It has pockets, which is always a bonus. Uh, she says it could be the after party dress. Julie worries that it could be triggering to her, but Balin says it's not. It's really fun. She likes it. Balin said she loves all of them. Haley says she's up to a challenge, so Bay is getting a custom dress. She's getting custom. I know what's wrong. I was working in the middle of the night. It was just me. It was just me that was dark. I was working last night until 9:30. I'm like putting this together. Balin says she felt beautiful during the appointment and she's never felt that way before. She was crying, saying how she didn't feel that way in high school. She didn't feel that way in elementary school. And she's crying. She says she's never ever felt beautiful before, which I love that for her that she feels beautiful in that dress. Elle's job assignment got canceled, by the way. There are a couple of other places he could go, though. Uh, Balin tells Colin that she's getting a custom dress and he's happy about it. Um, so the girls are planning to go to Sammy's. Mom and Balin are going to go to Sammy's for the weekend. It's Julie's birthday, and apparently this is becoming a tradition because this is the third year they're doing it. Um, Balin goes to her parents' house before the trips to Sammy's so they can work on the mini golf course for the wedding. Beckner claims he's the best baseball player in the country for his age. Balin chimes in with also basketball, gymnastics, lacrosse, and hockey. He says he's just naturally good at everything. Beckner's totally cracks me up. He's so funny. He's a funny kid. I hope he never loses that. I hope he never loses that sense of humor. Al has Balin use a power saw. It's kind of scary. On the couch, Julie says they have Balin with her ticks and something that can kill you. What are we doing? Balin just kind of goes, and Al says, building a golf course. Balin says it's arts and crafts, and Julie disagrees. But it is kind of arts and crafts. It's at least builder stuff. Balin's excited to be helping, and she does run the saw once. I mean, I get Julie's concern. She does have her ticks and weird stuff. But her dad was right there, and she probably should not ever run a power saw on her own. I'll agree with that. But I mean, she felt comfortable doing it as long as she feels comfortable. They need to encourage her to do dangerous things. You need to always encourage your kids to do things that they're not comfortable with, or that you're not comfortable with. I mean, my kids did a lot. My son still does a lot of things I'm uncomfortable with. He's afraid of heights. He got my fear of heights. He still goes up on roofs and roofs houses. So I'm proud of him for going out of his comfort zone. Um, they're all nervous around the back-to-back trips because they don't know how Balin's going to do. Balin also has a wedding surprise for the younger brothers. She wants them to be ring security guards. They're going to have black suits with the communication earpiece, sunglasses, and a tiny little briefcase that says ring on it. My niece actually did something like this for her wedding. It was really cute for a 6-year-old. I'm not sure about teenagers, but they seem to be on board with helping Pumpkin with the ring. Pumpkin is a dog. Pumpkin is the ring bearer. I'm just saying. It's weird. But Balin has it all worked out that they're going to help with the ring, which is cute as long as they're on board. They seem actually excited about it, so they're good kids. Balin and Julie leave for Kansas City. Security goes smoothly. The TSA agent knew who Balin was and gave everybody a heads up. The plane had issues, though, and it had to return to the gate. But they solved them, and they arrived in Kansas City with no further issues. Julie rented a house for the trip so that they could each have a room because Sammy's place only has 2 bedrooms. So she says they need their space. I don't blame them at all. Balin brings one of the dogs to the trip, and I hate how Sammy says cute. She doesn't pronounce the T, and it really annoys me. She's so cute. It's annoying. I can't stand it. It's cute, not Q. That's the word cute. It has a T in it. Just like Layton has a T in it. Tammy broke up with her boyfriend, and that's affected her really badly. She's only seeing her therapist once a month. Her anxiety is so bad that she's missing out on a lot of milestone events. I think she needs way more intense therapy than that. My husband sees his therapist twice as often and doesn't have crippling anxiety. He has a little bit of anxiety about one certain aspect of his life, and that's it. It's not even about me. Sammy is keeping the agenda secret and tells Balin she might leave in tears for their next little adventure that are going on. But they don't tell you what it is. But they did say that last time she was there, or at some point, she was there and they went on the KC wheel, which is a Ferris wheel, but it's all enclosed. I mean, I think I would go on it. No problem. I don't like Ferris wheels. I don't like Ferris wheels. I don't like those spinny, roundy things. I don't like them. I'll go on any roller coaster, though. Explain that one. But she literally passed out on the roller coaster for like, she said 20 minutes. And they had a little bit of video for it. And she literally did pass out, which is really scary if you ask me. They're, forgot what the ratio is. It's like fewer than half, I know that. Only 25 to 40% of people will ever faint. That's pretty low, and I've done it twice. So I'm a fainter. My son's a fainter because he did it. So mine were, I got my teeth pulled all at once. I had like 8 teeth pulled all at once, and the dentist says that, my teethers are very skinny and long, and I like to say that's the only long, skinny part of my body because it is. He put a hole in my nasal cavity, and he didn't even know he did it. It's apparently not unusual to happen, but it's not normal, but it's not unusual. It's not unheard of. So I went to rinse like you're supposed to do when you get your teeth pulled, and water literally came out my nose, and I almost fainted a couple other times. Once when I changed my earrings for the first time when I had pierced ears. I don't have pierced ears anymore, not because of that, but because they never heal. Um, and once I think I had a ovarian cyst burst. They told me it was something different, but it wasn't. It wasn't that. Um, so I went to the bathroom thinking I had to go to the bathroom, and it did not help. And the pain was so intense, I passed out in the bathroom. Luckily, both times I've passed out, it's been in the bathroom, and luckily I've not hit my head on the tub either time. I'm very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. That second time I did go to the emergency room in the middle of the night, called a friend up. Can you come watch my kids? But it's okay because a week earlier she had called me to do the same thing. I sat on her couch for hours reading a Harry Potter book that had just come out. So, what comes around goes around. Thankful she was there. It's a shame she turned out to be a crappy friend in the end. Um, all right. I guess we'll get into our enough about me. Let's get into our Reddit reads. First one is from Am I Overreacting? And it is entitled AIO or AITA Text Convo with Mother-in-Law. This can never go good. It's captioned, I feel like I could cry. I only want acceptance from her, and it's clear nothing will be good enough. So she texts her mother-in-law, would you be able to send that by 500 by Friday? Husband and I didn't get paid for a month and a half. When we did get paid, it all went to rent. I'm not a loan shark, but I really appreciate it because there are big payments coming this week. No biggie if you don't respond, but you please acknowledge that you saw my text or something. If it all went to rent, how are you paying your bills on a daily basis? If you can't save up the five, I'm confused. Good morning. Sorry, I won't be able to send the 500 by Friday. We're going on vacation this Sunday, and I don't have it either. I will get the last 1,000 to you when I can. You and he should be He'd really have you finances in a good place before he left to go in the military. Agreed. I also don't think you were trying to be rude, but the whole thumbs up or something. Respectfully, I don't have to respond to all your texts or anybody for that matter, but I will respond to the important ones when I have time. No, it takes no time to acknowledge that you got a text. All you have to do is acknowledge that you got the text. You don't have to do anything else. So rude. OP says, of course not. I never expected a response, but it is a courtesy, especially when I'm updating everyone with every step of the way. We had a good start with the finances, but neither one of us expected his pay to be delayed and his savings isn't free for all. So what I suspect happened was he went into the military and they only pay once a month, and you have to be in for a month before you get paid the first time. So they should have anticipated that. Oh, I should be sharing this, shouldn't I? Silly me. I'm such a goof. Sorry about that. I understand, but you don't have to keep me updated. I would want to be updated if I was the mom. He's at boot camp. He can call me when he has time and one can discuss then. He gave me that money when he stayed here, so we will discuss it. So obviously mom has some of his money and she needs it to pay bills. So that would make sense that she's asking for it. Yes, he lent you money, but when he gave you that money, you made an agreement to pay it back. You agreed to pay it back while he was around during tax time. You gave him 1,500 and you again agreed to pay 500 a month until it added up to the remaining 1,500. I'm doing what he has asked me to do in a very polite manner at that. He was very kind letting you borrow that $3,000, which he was saving for us to move in together. I realize now that I may have misunderstood our relationship, but I don't appreciate being disrespected. He didn't ask why you didn't have your finances together, and I really can't believe you said that with all the things considered. Yeah, I can't believe she said that either. Especially if he had to loan her $3,000. It's crazy. He may not be able to ask you about these things, but that doesn't mean that agreement has gone away just because he's not physically here. I'm on OP with this. I don't know what you learned your manners from, but you are not polite. You hit me up in the morning on sarcastic stuff, asking about money, and mind you, it hasn't even been a whole month since I sent the last 500. So you do realize he was able to even lend me that money because of me and the situation I had him in. Of course, he didn't ask me why I don't have my finances together because he has some respect for me and understands. So he has respect for you, but you don't have respect for your son. Understands I did everything I could to raise him and his sisters. Yes, I think you did misread your relationship. I'm his mother. I think it's best you only contact me if it's an emergency with him for the time being. Wow, this mom is crazy. No, when you have somebody in a relationship and they're paying the bills for his home, oh my goodness. The last money you sent was on 410. I made sure to confirm that before reaching out. My only reason for stating that he didn't question your finances was that's the first thing you said to me. You may have done everything you can to raise him, but he worked hard for his money. $3,000 is not a small amount. He was doing a lot to help you as well. And so I think we all owe him respect. I don't understand why you feel that my message was sarcastic because I asked a pretty straightforward question and even explained my reasoning. I don't care if you sent it or not. All I did was ask. You could have just said that you didn't have it, and I wouldn't have questioned you further. And on misunderstanding relationships, we know that you are his mother, but that is your relationship to him. That isn't our relationship. You right. Have a good day. I understand how you feel. No need to reiterate any further. Could you please only text me if it's an emergency with him? I would like this conversation to be over. Thank you. Already the plan. Man, this mom be crazy. Edit, because I have had to say this so much. Normally, I don't reach out to her for something like this. The situation is complicated. Before my husband left for basic training, where he would have minimal contact, he discussed with her that she would need to continue paying even in his absence, and she was fine with this. She made a previous payment to me and even informed me before she sent it. If the situation had been different, he would have never asked me to get involved. But he knows that with both of our paychecks being delayed because I got a new job, I need the money. It's not really his fault, plus it's not. She's only been acting this way since he was gone and couldn't step in. My husband treats me very good. I love him and everything. There's a reason I married him, so please don't say it's his fault or anything unkind. He's not available to like step in. Nana says, no, sorry, I can't pay you that money. I'm going on vacation, but you should really get your shit together. And that's wise. And then the 3 crying emojis, crying, laughing emojis. NOR. Actual comment says, I know, right? They need to get their crap together, but she's borrowing from her son. That woman is something else. Creative Crafter says, we had our crap together until we lent you $3,000. Exactly. Exactly. Fake Doctor Meat Coats. These names just get wilder, I swear. I can't pay money I owe because I'm going on vacation. Is winging bold. Funrich going on vacation a few months after asking a kid for $3,000 is bold. Wonder where the vacation money came from. Exactly. You know, she didn't have other bills. She wanted to go on a vacation. Disastrous Reality said apparently the tax refund that she was supposed to be using to pay back her son, who borrows money from their own kid to begin with, let alone doesn't pay it back as agreed to, and instead goes on vacation with the funds they said they were going to use for their debt, to pay their debt. Gross. Yeah, I have no sympathy for this lady. Charred Locale says, this is the crap my mom would pull. She treated my wife exactly like this, and guess what? Now she doesn't get to see me or her grandchild anymore. She's not even sorry about it either. That's sad. That's really sad. Next, we have entitled people. Entitled guy tries taking my significant other's seat at the theater, though my significant other's coat was on the seat, which is a universal way to say seat is occupied. Yes, agreed. A coat on a seat is the universal way to say a seat is occupied. I have a story I'm not going to tell. On Sunday, myself and my significant other and our kids went to see The Mandalorian and Grogu. My significant other left their coat on the seat they picked, telling me with the time before the trailers began that they were going to the restroom. That's a normal thing to do. Do you not have assigned seats at your theater? Because every theater I've been in for the last 5 years has had assigned seats. Within 2 minutes, a guy comes walking over, sits next to me, and says, "Excuse me, that seat's." I said, "Excuse me, that seat's spoken for." The person didn't get up, and I again asked them to move, saying they were sitting on my significant other's coat. Still wouldn't budge. I texted my significant other saying to bring an usher because someone was trying to take their seat and were ignoring me saying his seat was already taken. This was at a theater where there is no assigned seating. Please implement assigned seating. Before long, my significant other returned with an usher, and only when the usher got the guy's attention did the guy stand up, remove his coat he had put down on the seat, and saw my significant other's coat. He said he's not moving, and it took 2 additional ushers to help the guy leave. And once he got up, the ushers helped find him a different seat. How the guy missed seeing the coat, I have no clue because the lights were not dimmed yet for the other trailers. My thought was they just saw a seat with nobody and thought they were entitled to it. Update for those asking about where my kids were during this, they're all teenagers and had gone to their own seats with their respective boyfriends and girlfriend. Me using significant other to describe who I'm in love with is my way of saying who I'm in love with is nobody's business. If I have a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, or fiance. He had to put fiance twice because, he couldn't just use the normal spelling of fiance to describe both genders. Linda Glitter says he did not miss seeing the coat. Exactly. Not recommendations, second top rated comment. She says, I went to the movies with my teenage sons at Christmas time. That there was a man in my seat and he wouldn't get up. Seats at Regal are assigned. They said we should just move. Mom, went in and the a-hole was just smiling at me and said, "This is the seat I always get, but you guys beat me to it." I said, "Yes, those seats are great. Get up." Surprisingly, he got up without me having to involve the usher and moved to the row directly behind us. He just wanted to be an ass and intimidate my sons. I'm do good says, humans are so weird. Why would you do that? It's so weird. Representative Cap is the third top rated comment. And they say, no, he saw the code. He's just one of those people that like causing trouble wherever they go. He was born in an a-hole and most likely will stay that for the rest of his life. Leopard Up Terra says, speaking as an old, this is true. I've seen a few who can fake it for a time, but once an a-hole, always an a-hole. Holds up over the years. Not surprising. Next, we have Murder by Words, and it's entitled, When Will MAGA Learn to Stop Throwing Stones from Their Glass Houses? MAGA, Trump, you could cure cancer and you still hate him. Me, Trump could end cancer research and you would still love him. Oh, wait, he did and you do. True story. True story. Someone commented that Pam Bondi has thyroid cancer. Because I don't wish that on anyone, but again, irony. Thyroid cancer is pretty easily treated, pretty easily cured, actually. There's other cancers you can't cure. We need more research on those. Also, little kids get cancer, and it's really sad. Now, we're still in Big Bend National Park, and this is from Panther Junction Visitor Center from Grouchy. So we know why it's a one-star review. They're already grouchy. Grouchy is from Coastside, New York, North Carolina. The visitor center was nice and well maintained. However, we asked for some recommendation for hiking from park personnel on duty and got blunt. Did you get the newsletter when you paid? It's in there. Gentleman had smiled as I think his face would have broke. Yeah, I mean, you're working at as a visitor center. Even if people have the information, you should still happily give them the information. Also, I've worked in customer service. I would have gladly said, oh, you can go here, there, the other place. This one's really, I like this one. I hear good things about this one. It's not hard. It's not a hard job. Come on. What are we doing here? Next, we have Traumatized and Back and entitled, It's for My Son's Grave. This goes back 30 years, but I remember it clear as day. Our oldest child died at a young age. I'm so sorry for your loss, OP. That's heartbreaking. No one should outlive their child. For the first year after his death, I would put a white rose on his grave on Fridays. I had a routine with the florist since she found out why I was buying it. She would see me coming and put it on the counter. I would put down the money and walk out, avoiding any awkward conversations. One Friday, the florist was closed, family emergency, so I had to go to the 7-Eleven for a flower to place on the grave. The clerk, a young girl, late teens, one of those bubbly personalities, they're so annoying sometimes, decides to question my motives for buying the flower while I'm waiting in line. Oh, look, he must have had a fight with the missus. He's buying a flower. She announced to everyone in line. I said, don't go there. But she persisted. Oh, come on, tell us. I said, let it go. But she kept picking. By now, I'm rightfully PO'd. So by the time I get in front of the line, she asked the third time. And I said, it's for my son's grave. She turned white, and I just gave her a death stare, no pun intended. And she froze for a few seconds before giving me my change. I bet it was a long time before she acted that nosy again. I think this was a good lesson. I mean, you did say it was a teenager. It's a good lesson for her. It was a really good lesson for her. When people say let it go, let it go. They're saying that for a reason because they don't want you to feel bad. Let it go. They don't want to talk about it. It's not your business. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Cyrus Nest says, why would she insist? I'm sorry you had to go through that. I really hope she thought twice before asking nosy questions again. The Uncle Awesome answers this. Why do people insist on being nosy and not take the hint? Ugh. Syllabi says, I think they think they're charming. They don't think. Flo says, I'm sorry for your loss. Similar story here. I was looking for support for a big photo for my son's last ceremony. I asked the seller for support this big and showed the size of the arms and hands. Uh, First, really should have taken the precise measurements. Okay. Um, Seller, you really should have taken the precise measurements. OP, not OP, Flo. Sorry, I didn't have a lot of free time to prepare for the ceremony. Uh, Seller, what ceremony is it? A surprise one? Flo, not sure if it's relevant. Seller, since you don't have the measurements. Flo, okay, that's for my son's burial. They can't leave well enough alone. They get traumatized, it's fine. Maybe they'll learn. Blundertaker, very close to Undertaker, I wonder why, is the third top rate comment, and they say, as someone who tends to wear a lot of black, I have a fair bit of, you look like you're going to a funeral comments. Saying I am actually is like hitting a dog in the nose with a rolled up newspaper. You have my condolences. Pain of loss like that never fully goes away, but I hope you've been well. So I was right about Blundertaker being an Undertaker. And yeah, they would wear black a lot. You look like you're going to a funeral. Well, I am. I do every day. My daughter, next we have What Should I Do? It's entitled My Daughter Said I Ruined Her Childhood. I swear we read this one already. But we're going to read it again. She's 18, graduating next week. She often jokes to all her friends I traumatized her entire childhood because I wouldn't buy her calico critters. Edited to add, aka Sylvanian families as a kid. In my defense, I thought she already collected Shopkins and little pet shops. I thought those were plenty expensive enough. Anyway, because it's been an ongoing joke, I decided to buy a lot of critters on eBay and dress them all in grad stuff. Here's my creations and now my dilemma. Our grad party is next week and I want to surprise her in some grand, glorious way. I think we read this for Made Me Smile. But I'm just creatively stumped. Do I use them for decorations at the party, wrap each one up, unwrap all 50, put them on the cake at the party? I don't know how. And here they are. They're super cute, if you remember. They're super duper cute. Aren't they adorable? Oh my goodness. I can't. I can't. And more of them. And more of them. And more of them. Oh, maybe we read it in Best of Redder updates. And more of them. I think we read it in Boru. Because I think it was a really good update. So we've seen this. We've seen the outcome of this. She loved it, by the way. Next, we have malicious compliance and is entitled, I mean it, stay out of the kitchen. Okay, if you say so. I work at McDonald's. It's my job. My job is primarily service, which means I'm bagging the orders, making drinks, boxing fries, and when cook staff is busy, handling customers and cleaning. I work here for 2 weeks now, and I've been getting used to the flow of things. Today, my last hour during lunch rush, my manager told me to focus on customer orders. So when there was no more customers, I went to the back to help and got told to get out, focus on customers. I told her there were none, and she said she didn't care. She needs me out there. I stand by the register for 5 minutes and go back again and get told the same thing, but she's more forceful this time. I mean it. You need to stay out there. Okay, fine. So I stood there by the register for a whole hour. A customer was waiting for their bag, was right there, and I knew what she needed. She was getting upset, and I told her, I'm sorry, I would get that for you, but I'm not allowed back there right now. I ran all medium cups and asked the coworker to get them for me. She assumes I don't know where they are and offers to show me, and I said, I know where they are. The manager doesn't want me back there right now. Someone else tells me I need to give customers the drink cups even if their order is on the kiosk. Again, I say I would love to, but I'm not allowed to go back there and see what they ordered, so I don't know what they ordered to drink unless they tell me. It's been 30 minutes and I'm practically begging now to help because I'm so bored. but got told again I needed it out here. So I sit more and just wait for my shift to be over. Eventually, a shift lead says I need to come and help and not shirk my duty. So I fully explained the situation to her, and general manager overheard. Who said she would talk to the manager told me that. My manager pulled me aside, apologized, and said she just felt overwhelmed. That's why she kicked me out. Some managers just shouldn't be managers. If you're that overwhelmed that you can't understand that what you're saying is going to cause issues between your work coworkers, you should not be a manager. Money Slayer says at least the manager apologized, not something you see every day in fast food environment or anywhere, really. Brian Babe answers, hell, that's not something that one sees in most workplaces. Cherry Block Red Wine says, as a survivor of the corporate world, that is completely correct and infinitely sad. OP says, to be honest, I think it was because the general manager talked to her about it because it was right after she had that chat. When before, every time I went back there, she was like, no, I mean it, stay out. Captain Tripper answers that with, yeah, in fact, it makes it just more precious. Most managers just get pissed that they are now on the radar because you snitched. Not one thought about their own mistakes. That she realized it was her own fault and not yours, even though it just got to her after someone told her. That's rare these times. Yeah, that's true. Most people would just deny. Sipper of Genius says at least the manager recognized the mistake. And Tucker says act your minimum wage. Work your minimum wage. Dottie Deuce OP says it's privately owned McDonald's franchise. So which means I'm making $5 more than my state minimum wage. But yes, basically I was just following orders as they were literally given, which is all you should do. I mean, and it was good that you explained that to people. Like I would totally do that, but I'm not allowed back there. I'm not allowed back there. That's what I would do too. I'm not allowed. She told me to get out 3 times. I'm not risking it again. She'd go and fire me for no reason other than that I'm trying to do my job. Next, we have Evil Buildings, and this is entitled The Bond Villain Lair in Beverly Hills for sale for paltry $60 million. A paltry $60 million. It's ginormous. This is ridiculous. Who owns this? That's what I want to know. That is crazy. They have taken up every square foot of their lot practically. That is too much. Too much. Too much. This needs to go on our real estate. Where are the pictures? I don't know where that picture went. It's really cool, but holy cow. That's insanity. I want more pictures. Are they doing autopsies in here? What the heck? Maybe it's just painting stuff. Maybe it's just painting stuff, but my first thought is autopsies. What room is that last one? The basement sweatshop? That's the autopsy room. CEO and founder of Oakley Glasses owns it. Okay. I wonder if it's still for sale. They said Beverly Hills. Maybe we can find it. If we can, I'll put it somewhere at the end. Beverly Hills, Michigan, of course. Price minimum. If I can find it. I found it. I believe I have found it. Yep, this is it. Okay, I found it. We'll save that for later. I'll do one extra segment today. But I found it. I'm a genius. Yes, you're welcome. It was literally the first one on the list. I missed it the first time. Next is AITAH and is entitled AITAH for telling my mother-in-law she couldn't visit my wife in the hospital the same day our child was born. I'm torn on this because as a mother-in-law, I like to see the little fresh babies. They're so cute. On the other hand, I can understand you not wanting, especially a bad mother-in-law around. My wife and I discussed in the days leading up to the birth of our son, we agreed that we did not want any visitors the same day he was born. My mother-in-law was notified that my wife was going to require a C-section, and she told me to tell her when she was able to come up and visit, and I told her I would do so. I texted our group chat for my wife's side of the family, updating them that the procedure went well and that Mama and baby were doing perfect. She replied and said, I know you didn't tell me to come, but we are in the waiting room. We are so excited to be here for you too. See, that's presumptuous. Shouldn't do that. I texted her back saying that we appreciate her coming up, but that they should go home and that we would see them tomorrow. My father-in-law called me shortly after and insulted me in every way imaginable. And my mother-in-law sent me a long text saying how disrespectful it was not allowed them to visit their daughter. Their daughter didn't want to see you. Your daughter didn't want to see you. And she should have made that clear before the baby was born, but she didn't want to see you. I quickly reminded him that today wasn't about them, it was about my wife, the baby, and I. We haven't spoken since AITAH. No, you were just telling them what your wife said. uh, Jake says, I know you didn't tell me, I know you didn't tell me to come. Yes, and there's a very good reason for that. Olive Health says, NTA, you protected your wife's wishes. Exactly. LP says, that's what I thought. Thank you. Kia says, thank you for standing up for the agreement you and your wife made and care of the family you two have built together. I'm incredibly proud of your backbone and resilience in face of the disrespect and condescension your in-laws have dealt you. Please know this stranger thinks only good things about your choices so far. Go enjoy this time. And the lovely lady who carried them to standing to deal with the a-holes another day. You're doing good. Keep it up. If my daughter-in-law hadn't wanted us to come to the hospital when she during COVID, I would have not gone to the hospital. I was leery about going to her house after the first one, especially with COVID, especially since her family doesn't vaccinate and didn't take COVID seriously at all. And still doesn't. They're not afraid of getting sick. That's a quote from her mother when I had the flu. Actually, I might have had COVID. I had something at their birthday party. I sat in a corner outside and warned everybody that I was sick and had been sick for a couple of days. And I know exactly where I got sick. I got sick on the freaking plane coming back from Seattle. Some guy behind us was snoring, but it sounded like he was drinking through a straw, drinking out of an empty glass through a straw. And it took us a few minutes to figure out that that's what that noise was him snoring and not drinking out of an empty glass with a straw. It sounded exactly was so weird. Namaste Noodle says, wow, talk about disrespectful. You're going to have to be careful and set some really strong boundaries going forward with those two. Yeah, unfortunately. Next we have Neighbors from Hell, and it's entitled Neighbors Built into Our Property, and now I'm not happy. The council are making them rip it out in the UK. Don't build on other people's property. We have issues right now. People keep throwing their crap on our property, not respecting the boundary lines at all, and it's starting to tick us off. My husband's going to talk up to an attorney about it. He gets an attorney through work for free for certain, for those tiny things. Cutting long story short, our neighbors have French doors, and toward the end of last year, we noticed them building platform/ramp steps into their garden. From what we could see, it didn't look like it breached our property boundary, so we didn't want to make a fuss. We also couldn't get a proper look at it because we had to put up a tall fence panel on top of the wall a few years ago to stop the kid and their mates from leaning over and looking at us in our living room. So they already sound like great people that can't control their kid. Well, cue a few weeks later, we could see their dog leaning over our wall barking at our cat. Small dog, so couldn't realistically be able to reach up and over unless his platform came over the boundary and is raised in a ridiculous amount off the ground. That sounds crazy. So we took the fence panel down to get a better look, and lo and behold, they built a platform against our wall, which is inside the boundary of our house, so it shouldn't have been used, nor is it designed to be a retaining wall. They've come over around 12 inches in width and 4 feet in length over 4 feet in height. Basically, I can sit in my living room and they can stand on the platform and see directly in. So since it was already built, we put in with planning permission with the council. They've come out to look, and whilst I can't be sure what's happening, they haven't responded to our emails yet. I've had the neighbors at the door screaming to me that it's got to be ripped out. I'm sorry, emergency on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. So it seems the council agreed it shouldn't have been built, nor will they get nor would they get retrospective planning permission, which I'm quite sure about, to be honest. I thought the council would dawdle. Q, I am now getting screamed at every time in my garden, driving past them, slagging me off to the neighbors, threatening to kill my cat. That's called harassment. Because they shouldn't have built the boundary in the bloody first place. Built over the boundary in the bloody first place. They clearly thought we would just lie down and take it, aka take it the entitlement. Kudzu says I would stop them the next time she starts, and very calmly says, "Why are you screaming and why are you so mad at me? Let her vent. Do not get flustered. Calmly respond. You shouldn't be mad. You should be mad at whoever designed and built into other property and walk over drive away." OP says, "Thank you. My conflict avoidant self will try this approach." Witchy Moon is the second top right comment, and she says, "Document everything. If you can get cameras with audio, you'll have enough to file a restraining order against them." OP says he's on it, hoping the hammer for the garden comes today. Also catches them looking over the frickin' fence. OP has given a cat tax. This is what they're trying. The neighbors are threatening the life of. Look at the kitty cat. He's so cute. Thank you for the cat tax. Appreciate the cat tax. Oh, I forget that that's not the same. Next is Found Satan and is entitled The Devil is Taking Notes. It is from Rob the Bank Robber. Fun game. When somebody tells you the name of their new baby, repeat it back to them with their surname and say, like, the murderer. Why would you do that? That's weird. Pablo Picasso says, my nephew's girlfriend had a baby yesterday. I can't wait to try this. Cloud Cultist says, the way you wrote that makes it sound like the nephew ain't the father. Oh, no, don't do that. Jane Doe, my baby's name is Fred. Fred Doe, like the murderer. It's just meant to make the parent second guess or feel bad about the name choice, which is mean. Fred Doe, Fredo. Chocolate. No, like the colonial warlord. Geez, read a book. Geez, dude, read a book. Next, we have Just No Mother-in-Law, and is entitled Mill Left Birthday Party Early. And his flat is a success. I posted a week ago about my mother-in-law not getting my kit a specific present for their birthday, one she promised she'd get. If you make a kid a promise, you better follow through. Looking at you, Tony. Which resulted in husband and I buying the present and it being delivered a couple days after the party. Well, the party went uh, pretty good, in my opinion, and Mill even left early because she was ganged up on. Ganged up on. Everybody was having a good time. My oldest started acting out a little, so my husband gently corrected her behavior. Mill made a comment about how I don't want other people correcting our kids' behavior. I corrected her and I said I don't know how to correct our kids' behavior because her idea of correcting is spanking, and we don't do that. Nobody should do that. You shouldn't hit kids. My parents are allowed to help correct the problem because they respect the fact that we don't spank our kids. You could tell Mel was put out about the whole situation. Then she made another comment about how maybe she didn't know. She'd know better how to discipline kids without spanking if we brought them over to her house. No, absolutely not. That's when everything went a little sideways. My husband told her once again that while our youngest is still breastfeeding, that they would need to come over to our house if they wanted to see the kids. I don't see why that's an issue. I breastfed everywhere all the time. And even once our youngest was no longer breastfeeding, need to take the baby they would need to baby proof their house. Mother-in-law says you take the kids to her parents, what's the difference? And that's when other people got involved. My mom heard the comment from Mill and told my Mill they come over to our house because we have a private and comfortable space to breastfeed. And our house is baby proofed. And if she wasn't comfortable breastfeeding at our house, we wouldn't make a big deal about it. My friend chimed in and said, it's their third kid. You'd think you'd understand that why they don't allow the kids over at your house by now. And to finish it all, I said, we've told you We've told you the options multiple times. You can come over to our house to see your grandkids. We can meet at a restaurant for dinner, or your son can visit you at your house for an hour or two. You religiously pick option 3. That's not my problem. Mill huffed and started packing up her and Father Phil's belongings. Phil hugged everybody and said his goodbyes. Mill walked out without saying anything to anyone. Pretty good result in my book. Midnight Legal says when she got exactly the payoff she was looking for, she turned the party into her performance and created a spectacle and then stomped off after making herself the center of attention. Regardless of whether the attention was positive or negative, it served the same purpose because the goal was to make herself the focus. Whether it becomes a pity party or everyone ends up orbiting around her, the end result is the same. She got the attention she was seeking. But then she left. So she didn't get the attention she was seeking. She didn't really, because she left. Everybody ganged up on her and she left. So it wasn't the attention she wanted. Next we have Petty Revenge and is entitled Waste Not, Want Not. This happened years ago. I was out to breakfast with a friend and she decided to have some jam jelly on her toast. The restaurant had those little tubs of different flavors of jam jelly on the table. So friend reaches over and opens one. She looks at it, decides it's not the flavor she wants, reaches over again, opens another one and does the same thing. Why didn't you just read it? The flavor is on the top. She starts to reach for a third one. I said, hey, you know the flavor is shown on the top of those, right? You don't have to open it to see what the flavor is. You just look at the top and it's there. She puts down the one in her hand and goes through the jelly until she finds a strawberry. I mentioned that it was wasteful and she replied it wasn't her problem. We finished breakfast and she wants to take home the leftovers, including the toast I didn't eat. The waitress brings over a to-go container, and I tell my friend that if she wants to use the restaurant, I'll pack everything up. She leaves, and I took the jelly from both of those open containers, spread it on my toast before packing it up. Not sure how grape jelly mixed with orange marmalade tastes, but that's what she got for the leftovers. uh, Laughing Gravy says, it's very strange somebody would be so wasteful and yet want to take home leftover toast, right? You can make your own toast at home. It's easy. And I'm telling you, that cherry spread I have is phenomenal. My husband is eating it so fast. Uh, Now's the worst of times, says, it's the second typewriter comment. And they say, I would not go out to eat with her in the future. I wouldn't either. Party can start now, answers, I'd be reevaluating that friendship. This is the same type of person that litters and thinks nothing of it. Terrible Pin says, that is beyond me why people can't understand the cost of doing business passed on to the customer. Waste food prices are going to get passed on. Put perishable of foods on a random shelf, prices in the grocery store are going to go up. I hate inconsiderate waste for people. Exactly. Laughing Gravy answers, stores are already winging on with the cold chain due to staff cuts. So if you dump something chill / frozen in a random aisle, you are not keeping people at the job. A justification effort. It's increasing wastage at best, or increasing the risk that you buy something stuck in the back of the fridge / freezer hours later. Well, they don't put it back. If something is left on it, something that needs to be in the cooler or the freezer is left out on a shelf, they do not put it back in the freezer. They throw it away. So it's complete wastage. Expectation versus reality. My 4-year-old is an artist. And it's just one. They actually did a really good job. I showed you what the 4-year-old did the other day. This is the expectation. That's the reality. It's not bad. For a 4-year-old, that's pretty dang good, I'd say. That's my opinion. My opinion is she did great. Or he. Fluffy Pomegranate says, I love this, but I have to ask, what's a pink puddle? Opie says she says it's food for a unicorn. Fluffy Pomegranate says, how obvious, I should have thought of that, and has a duh. Teddy Lotus says, it's really impressive for a 4-year-old. Opie says, thank you, it's funny, charming sculpture, but I also think she's ironically talented for putting this together. I especially love the creativity of adding food to the sculpture. I do too. She's very cute. Butterfly Pancake says, a legit masterpiece that speaks to our times. All right, now we're going to go back to the house. It is $59,000 in Beverly Hills, California. 59 million, sorry, 59.5 million. In Beverly Hills, California, 5 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, over 18,000 square feet. I like this. This has I like how it's quoting, I have 9 full bathrooms. It's talking too. It's only 15 pictures. Honestly, 18 plus thousand square feet. You need more pictures than 15. I'm just saying. Oh, that is cool. That is really cool. I love that. I don't know what this thing is, why it's still there. Go away. There, I got it to go away. That is beautiful. I love it. This is the car park. Views of the smog. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a kitchen, all right. Got 2 ovens. Is there burners underneath this or no? Does it matter? 2 ovens here, 2 ovens here. That's crazy pants. I love these. I want one of these with the French doors because I'm short and my arms are short, and so reaching over an oven is a pain in the butt. So I definitely want something with French doors and induction heat. Induction heat on the stove. My dream. I need my dream stove. Holy cow! I guess you can have a party there. I could fit my husband's whole family in there. There's a lot of those people. There's the theater room. Awesome. Love it. We're not having multiple layers in our theater room. It's just going to be one layer. We might be able to have multiple layers, but we're not. All right, that's all I have for now. I will be back at 6. Don't forget, 6 o'clock, guys, for the second half. And right now I'm going to go write up the reality review for, I think it's going to be 7 Little Johnstons. And then next week we'll do Plathville and the last 7 Little Johnstons and, our girl Balin. Monday I'll do 7 Little Johnstons because I won't have a new Balin until after that. And I saw that the finale of Plathville is already on, so we'll be done with them soon too. It won't take as long as Johnston's. And then I'm gonna not get up behind on stuff. Even when I'm off, I'm gonna be doing it because I'm gonna take the first week of July off as my usual third, 3 times a year, taking off for a week, just because. Plus, it's holiday week. I'll have people in my house. You know how it is. Can't do that with people in my house. Luckily, he doesn't get a lot of time off for that. He only gets 1 day. Sometimes when it's in the middle of the week, he'll get 2 days if it's on a Tuesday or a Thursday, but usually it's only 1. All right, take care, my biddies. I will see you at 6-ish. Bye. Love you all. Bye. Take care.